Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you all for coming out this morning. Thank you so much, Leo, for having me here this morning as well. And I'm just delighted to be among such great professional educators. And kudos to you. You selected this session to come and hear about diversity in teaching. So, today's students, tomorrow's teachers. Usually when people hear that title, I don't have to say anything else because they say, oh, great, you work with students and you help them become teachers. Yes, that's exactly right. And then some people will say, oh, it's today's teachers, tomorrow's students. No, not quite right. So what is today's students, tomorrow's teachers? Many would say that it is a pipeline program. And yes, I would say that that's true, partially. So what we do at today's students, tomorrow's teachers, TSTT, sometimes we say TST square, is that we recruit high school students starting as early as the 9th grade. We follow them through college, all the way through college. And it's important to say that because in order to become a teacher, we all know we have to go to college. But we partner with about 25 colleges that agree to pay these students a minimum half tuition scholarship. And we stay with these students. We continue to mentor them and train them when they are in college. So we are providing additive training. And then we keep them connected with their home schools and their home districts. And we place them back in their schools as teachers and role models. So when you say pipeline, this is a real, what I call full circle. Because if we're gonna have really good teachers who will stick, over the past 20 years when I founded this organization, it is important that we recruit them early, that we train them, that we expose them, but also we've got to make sure that we give them the mentoring as well as the financial support to get through. So, how did this all come about? Well, Jose, I think I'm about the last of the Mohicans. Maybe I'm dating myself, but I grew up in the segregated South. And from first grade through college, I had all black teachers. So I never saw a white teacher. And so Felicia Rashad is the other person that I know who's still K through 16. And so what was it about those teachers? What was it about those teachers? And like many of the students that you hear about in these underserved communities, I was one of them. I grew up with a family of 6 children. My father died when I was 5, and my mom never remarried. I call her Mrs. E.F. Hutton. So she grew, she raised all of her children on her own. And I will tell you, if it were not for those teachers who did everything for me, they didn't only care about my academic success. And boy, you had to get that right. No excuses. But they cared about me. They wiped my nose, they brought me food, they, followed us home, all of those kinds of things. And so when we talk about a good teacher and talk about growing teachers of color, we have to really think about what I call the 3 C's. And I know that, we've heard 7 C's. I said smash them into 3. As we get older, you can only remember so much, right? So the first one that I would say is caring. Because those teachers cared about me. You have to care. Second thing is you have to be committed. You gotta wanna show up there every day, no matter what, no matter who those students are, what their socioeconomic status, whatever. You gotta be committed to helping them be the best that they can be. And the third one is competent. We gotta make sure that they know their subject matter, that they know how to do classroom management. Because there's just so much more that goes on in classrooms today, as we all know, than just, the testing and the subject matter. So that's just an overview of why I started this organization, why I started TSTT. It is really the story of my own life, because I know what can happen when we have caring, committed, and competent teachers. So how do we do it? So, I hit a button here, all right. Okay, so we start with them in the 9th grade. And the curriculum that we have is an 8-year curriculum with 7 or 8 different strands. And what I did was I pulled together a group of curriculum folks, and we looked at what do teachers need to know and do. So we looked at all kinds of standards, master teacher standards, all this stuff, and we designed this curriculum so that we would ensure that we got caring, competent, and committed teachers. So in the 9th grade, it's about awareness. And so they have mentors, teachers who are in the schools. The principals and superintendents, they pick a teacher. And there's a teacher for every 8 students. And so they begin this journey. And it focuses on teacher preparation, but it also deals with the whole child. It deals with college prep. It deals with the soft skills, their personal development. And so they tutor other kids in the after-school program. They shadow teachers. They observe teachers. They co-teach. And so by the end of the 4 years, they're talking the language. They know how to do lesson plans. And they are role models in their own communities, which is a great byproduct of their work. And then we get them college ready. So they have to have at least this B+ average by the end of their senior year. By the end of their senior year. So that's very important, because when we recruit students, we don't say, come in this program, you must be a teacher. No, we say, come on in, try it, see if you're gonna like this. We're gonna take you on a journey. And so when we do that with the student, and I'll show you the results of this, they have these mentors, that caring person who's meeting with them all the time. They're beginning to feel great about themselves. They're building self-esteem because they're tutoring other students in the communities. And so I hear them say, Dr. Perkins, I was in Dunkin' Donuts, and the kid came up to me and said, that's my tutor. They're tutoring these kids in the middle and the elementary schools. And so we get them ready to go to college. Now, what I found out when I started out with 7 little students on a bus in Westchester County going to visit colleges, when they got ready to go to college, they had done all of what they wanted to do. We wanted them to do on the training side. They had no money. So I was sharing with Linda that what I did was I just went to the top. I just went around knocking on the doors of presidents of all the colleges in the local area and said, here's some kids, here's what I need. Guess what? It was such an easy sell. It was such an easy sell. And so they agreed to give our students a minimum half tuition scholarship if they would stay in the School of Education and continue to pursue teaching as a profession. There was that qualifier. And so when they're in college, they have a college mentor in the School of Education. We keep them connected to their home schools. They do substitute teaching. They work in summer school programs. We have a district mentor. See, all of this mentorship is constant, from the teacher mentor in the high school to the college mentor in college to the district mentor, to link them back so that they can eventually get a job. And we place them as well. So, you can imagine that this is now 8 years that we've been working with the students. So what do you think you have after 8 years compared to the normal person who will get their certification in our normal way that we do it today, right? Student teaching, et cetera, in their, at least now, I applaud the colleges because they're backing up and exposing the students a lot earlier, but not enough. And then we continue to track them, third-year teachers, 5-year teachers, I must say. There are almost 20 10-year teachers. I call them the Perkins scholars. They were my kids from the beginning. And so that's that full circle that we have to, if we're going to grow the next generation of caring and committed teachers, we must complete the circle. It cannot be the partial pipeline. It has to be all the way through with all the support, the mentoring, as well as the financial support. So our goals. We want to increase the number of teachers of color. You can see all of our goals there, and we've done a great job at doing that, I think. I'll show you the results. Our model is based on collaboration, though. That's a long time to stay with a student, right? 8 years, you're like, how long can you stay with these students? The support and the money that we need. So we're a nonprofit organization. I had to learn how to do nonprofit work after being a teacher and then working in IBM, but it's just great work. So I had to get a lot of people to help me. So the model is based on collaboration. So we have the high schools who work with our students. We have the colleges who are giving the scholarships. We have the business community and other community agencies who are giving us money from foundations and corporations. And of course, the parents are actively involved. And all of this, we must stay focused, always those students at the center. So how have we done? How have we done? Let's look at it. So we compare, you see the TSTT student in the purple, the students of color in the red, and the national numbers in the yellow. So 90%, over 90% of our students who start the program in the 9th grade, they're in it. They stick with it. They want to go on to become a teacher. Look at how high we get our kids to go to college. And why is that? That's because of those partnerships that we have built, 24 of them, guaranteeing these students a minimum half tuition scholarship. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. And since about 70% of our students are economically challenged, then we work with them to even get more with their FAFSA applications. So that's our college admission rate. And then they stay in college. What bothers me about this chart is the college persistence for students of color and then the college graduation rate. 54% of students of color go to college because they want to go, but only 24% graduate. That's 30% difference. Why? When you look at TSTT, and we have a 70% graduation rate. And what I say is it's the mentoring, it's the financial support, it's the consistency. And we got to keep them. You know, we talk about this, how do we keep them? Well, you heard me talk about the early. Look at that. Look at what, we have a third of the teachers leaving the workforce after 3 years. 93% of our teachers are still teaching after 3 years. And 90% still teaching after 5 years. So, you know, this is a simple kind of solution. But you can't do this work, and you know, you are all in education, and you are, you know, dynamic teachers. You know, it's not a quick fix. You know, it's hard work. We have to spend the time. We have to spend the money. We have to work with them through the entire process. So today, from my 7 little students, there are over 1,000 students in 50 high schools in 4 states, and we have placed over 150 of those students back as teachers. So thank you all very much.